Hello everyone, welcome back to Ivan's Coaching Corner. Today I'd like to talk about something that we all feel or have experienced in our life, fear. This past weekend I was looking through my phone and came across a quote by Richard Bandler, the co-developer of NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming. And he talks about we're all born with two fears. This is also, I've seen it attributed to other people. But two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. And then he says, all of the other fears that we have in our lifetime, they're learned. So it got me thinking, wow, if we can learn fears, can we unlearn or replace those fears? And then it got me thinking, well, what is the biggest fear that I have faced in my lifetime and overcome? Well, there was a time that I don't know if you heard my dog barking, but I have had a fear of dogs before. It's not my biggest fear, but now since he barked, it reminded me. I once had a fear of dogs, and to the point where when I was selling in Hyde Park door to door, just the sound of the chain of a dog jingling would cause me to stay paralyzed, almost in my steps. But the biggest fear that I've ever faced in my life, and I'd like to share the story in a later video so we can keep this brief. The time that I went skydiving 10 years ago was a very fear-inducing experience. It was scary, but it was also exciting. So overall, the experience was exhilarating, but I'll share more details later. Let's get back to this. False expectation appearing as reality. This is an acronym that I came across when I heard or saw the Bandler quote. I looked through my books because I have a copy of The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. Excellent book, highly recommend it. And he has an acronym similar to this, so this made me want to share it with you so that it's relevant. And in your mind, when you are thinking of something that's going to be a worst case scenario before it happens, that's going to cause you to amplify fear, depending on how you represent that in your mind. And in NLP, we have a pattern or tool called submodalities that can help you with that, how you frame things in your mind. And also, one thing that's very powerful as a tool is visualization, which is commonly used by athletes, people who are in performance type roles or professions. So actors and actresses for TV shows and movies, and sports performers. Even I've seen they talk about with astronauts preparing. Anyone who wants to visualize can use it. Tom Brady of the Patriots, I've known or read that he has used visualization, and not just him, probably a lot of quarterbacks, besides the fact that they have access to film. The same way they have access to film, we have access in our mind to what I consider like our own personal DVR, where we can go back to certain experiences. So a couple videos I'm going to share going forward. I'll share my skydiving story and how that can help you, and I'll share in more depth how we can identify past fears that we have faced and overcome, and how that's useful to situations now and going forward. These are questions I want you to be thinking about. What's your biggest fear that you have faced and overcome? And how do you manage fear? How do you leverage fear? Or if you want to combine those, how do you manage and leverage fear to motivate yourself to take action, to move forward in a certain direction that you want to go? Okay, thank you, and keep tuning in so that I can continue providing some excellent content from Ivan's Coaching Corner.